Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the What Do I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Davis. You know the slogan, just an average fan talking all ball all the time. And today I want to do a little something different. I think it was Thursday. Michigan State played, and this is something I want to address. Tom Izzo yelling at a kid, getting in his face on national TV, yelling at him. Getting in his face. And it seems like a lot of people had a problem with that. Let me say this. If you have not seen the video, go look up the video. A lot of people are saying he looked out of control. A lot of people saying he was one step from physically hurting the kid. And let me say something about this. I do not agree with how he handled the situation, but I do not have a problem with that. For those of you who know who Tom Izzo is, he's been the coach at Michigan State forever, and he is such a passionate coach. Like I said, he gets in people's faces. He cries for his seniors during their last game. You know, he's jumping up and down when something good happens. He's upset and angry and stumping when something bad happens. There's a lot of passion that he has. And I feel like if you are going to be a coach, you have to have that type of passion. I think that kids now, everything is offensive. Not even kids, just in our culture, in the American culture. Everything is so offensive to people in every way. That sometimes you really have to kind of like tiptoe on eggshells so you don't offend anybody. As a coach, you should have that passion. As a coach, you should be able to get in a player's face, especially in college. And we're talking about coaching young men and young women. We're talking about wanting them to grow into an adult. And in what adult situation are you able to not give 100% and then expect nothing to happen? And what job that you have can you not do work and then still expect to have a job and everything be okay? Now, and the job is different. I think, well, actually I don't. I think yelling at people at a job is a lot, it's rare. But even at that time, I don't think I would have a problem with people yelling. Now, college basketball, especially at this time, March Madness, is so much energy and so much on the line that you can expect people's emotions to be a little crazy. And for a kid, a freshman kid, to come in and not give 100% effort, because that's what Tom Izzo said. He said he didn't give 100% effort, and he said he does not have any forgiveness about yelling at the kid. Because he said was, what is wrong with me challenging the kid? And I think that is a big problem in today. Me being a teacher, I'm not allowed to challenge these kids like I should be able to. As a coach and a teacher, and even as just people, we should be able to groom the next generation of people to live, to live like decent human beings. They should be able to understand that there are going to be rules in place no matter what happens and no matter what you do. There are going to be things that you won't be able to do. Now, let me say this. There have been coaches who have physically hurt their kids. That I do not agree with. You should never be able to put your hand on a kid or an adult. I think you should not be able to do that. Like Bobby Knight choking out one of his kids or one of his players, and even choking out one of the regular students that went there. because I think that's how he ended up losing his job. Or then like PJ Carlesimo, even in the NBA, his situation with Latrell Sprewell, which I thought was hilarious because Latrell Sprewell, boy, two-piece that man. Gave him that wop wop, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't playing. So I don't think, physically being able to put your hands on the kid should be allowed. But if you're telling me that you are not able to correct someone in a non-peaceful way, when you tell them the same thing over and over and over, what are you supposed to do? Now, could he have handled it a different way? I think he could have. I think he could have just brought him out of the game. And then just went over there and told him why he wouldn't be coming back in the game. And I can see that. But we don't know how many times Tom Izzo has told him that. We don't know what's been happening in practice and what's been happening during the season. We don't know what that kid was doing. And even as a parent, you know what you are sending your kids to, especially in college. When the coach comes home to your home and he's recruiting your kid, you talk to him, you see Tom Izzo's history, so you know the possibility that your kid could get yelled at or screamed at. I was watching First Take, and Jay Williams was on First Take with Stephen A. And he said that for coaches with that background or with, the legacy, like Tom Izzo, like Coach K, he feels that it is okay for them to do that just because they're already established. But for coaches coming up, they shouldn't be able to do that because they can get fired like that. That is something I do agree with. I think that as an up-and-coming coach, there are some things that you can't do because of you haven't built that name, you haven't built that relationship, you haven't built that ground with the parents of some kids. Even as a middle school coach or a high school coach, I think it's the same thing. Trying to come in and change the culture of something, it can rub people the wrong way. And that's just the honest truth. But I always think it's interesting to see situations like this because it does show that we are a little softer, air quotes, softer as a nation. When I was growing up, it was okay for a coach to yell at you as long as they didn't put their hands on you. But it just seems like as more kids are coming up and they're, not playing team ball and it's all about AAU and this and that, it's getting harder and harder to correct kids. And not just basketball players in general. Parents are growing up. Parents are bringing their kids up, not correcting them, letting them get away with different things. And I know myself as a kid, if I can get away with something, I'm going to see how far I can go. I'm going to test the limits. And my mom, she ain't play that. And my dad, sure as heck, didn't play that. So I ain't get very far. But, and I think them getting in my face and yelling at me, that really changed a lot. That kept me from doing a lot of stuff because they loved me, and that passion, like they really wanted me to learn something. They really wanted to teach me things that in the adult world could get me in a lot of trouble. And I think Tom Izzo is one of those coaches who are so passionate about what they do and the kids that they bring in that he really does want to help them. So it's a tough situation, especially these days. But like I said, I don't see a problem with him yelling. The only problem I would have had is if he got physical. Now, he did seem a little out of control to me. But I love the fact that those seniors on the team, they took over the situation. And that's what you want from your team. And that's what you want from other people. Is when you see a situation happening, you understand the magnitude of that situation and it helps someone. And I thought that was really, really, really cool. That is also something we're missing these days. In the era of recording everything instead of intervening, just recording. I thought that was pretty amazing. But yeah, what do you guys think about what Tom Izzo did? I thought that many people would have a problem with it when I seen it at first, because I did watch the game, and I was like, oh Lord, this is going to be a topic for sure. And it was. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. I really want to hear what people have to say about that. But thanks for tuning in. Peace.